The drought. The village Ashura, where Neoma lived with her grandmother Akua, had been suffering from a severe drought for months. Crops withered away, and the once verdant riverbed lay barren and cracked. The villagers, who relied heavily on agriculture, were on the brink of despair. The discovery. Neoma walked through the parched fields, feeling an unusual energy coursing through her veins. The air seemed electric, and the sky grew dark with clouds that hadn't been there moments before. Without thinking, Neoma raised her hands to the sky, and a gentle rain began to fall. The villagers, who had gathered to pray for rain, stared in awe. The revelation. Word spread quickly about the girl who could bring rain. Neoma's grandmother, Akua, revealed to her that she had been chosen to wield the ancient powers of the elements. Akua began teaching Neoma how to harness her abilities, and the girl's powers grew stronger with each passing day. The villagers' response. As Neoma's abilities became more refined, the villagers began to look up to her as a guardian and a blessing. They celebrated her gift, and Neoma became a beacon of hope in a time of need. However, some villagers were initially fearful of her powers, and it took time for them to understand and appreciate her true nature. The threat. A neighboring village, ruled by the power-hungry Malachi, grew jealous of Neoma's abilities. Malachi saw her powers as a means to further his own ambitions and sent his soldiers to capture Neoma. The villagers, realizing their vulnerability, prepared to defend themselves. The confrontation. Determined to protect her village and its people, Neoma summoned all her strength and unleashed a fierce storm, driving Malachi's soldiers away. The villagers, witnessing Neoma's bravery, asked her to teach them how to defend themselves, and together, they formed a powerful community, united against any future threats. The legacy. Neoma's legend grew, and people from neighboring villages came to seek her help. She used her powers to heal the land, end conflicts, and bring people together. As she grew older, Neoma became a symbol of hope, reminding everyone that even the most unlikely person can hold extraordinary power. The training. Neoma began training the villagers in self-defense, teaching them how to harness their own inner strength and work together to protect their community. She also taught them about the ancient powers of the elements and how to respect and live in harmony with nature. The visit. Malachi, still seething from his defeat, sent a spy to gather information about Neoma's powers and the villagers' defenses. Neoma, sensing the spy's presence, used her abilities to uncover the truth and warned the villagers to be vigilant. The alliance. Neoma's reputation as a powerful and wise leader spread, and neighboring villages began to form alliances with her community. Together, they shared knowledge, resources, and skills, creating a strong network of support and cooperation. The challenge. A severe storm hit the land, threatening to destroy the villagers' crops and homes. Neoma used her powers to calm the storm, but not before it caused significant damage. The villagers worked together to rebuild and recover, and Neoma realized that her powers were not just about control, but also about balance and harmony. The reflection. Neoma reflected on her journey, realizing that her powers had brought her both joy and responsibility. She understood that she was not just a guardian, but also a servant to the land and its people. She vowed to continue using her abilities for the greater good. The succession. As Neoma grew older, she began to think about passing on her knowledge and powers to a worthy successor. She trained a young apprentice, passing on the lessons she had learned from her grandmother Akua. The apprentice, filled with potential, showed promise of becoming a powerful leader in her own right. The legacy lives on. Neoma's legacy continued to inspire generations, and her story became a legend, passed down through oral tradition. The villagers continued to live in harmony with nature, respecting the balance of the elements and honoring the powers that Neoma had wielded. Neoma's story teaches us that true strength lies in using our gifts freely for the greater good. By passing on her knowledge and powers to the next generation, she ensured a legacy of wisdom, leadership, and positive impact. This reminds us to embrace our abilities, share them selflessly, and mentor others to create a lasting difference.